It's a little gross, but I liked it.
Well, it was really the grossest film I'd seen.
I enjoy dirty things as much as everyone else does, but this isn't even dirty, it's just disgusting.
But oftentimes they're really shocked how awful these films are.
Hello, and welcome to the Video Psychosis podcast. I'm your host, Strong Knotz. This is episode 7, and with me today is an unfortunately very special guest speaker. A man of many sciences, wisdoms, magician of sorts.
Yeah. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Wizard of the Technodrome.
No, I'm not a wizard or a magician.
But you have beaten Turtles in Time in a half hour, though. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Ivan.
That's a Russian name, isn't it?
People say that, but I've never been to Russia.
Are you a communist now?
No.
Have you ever been?
No.
Okay, good. So that means you're solid for a spot. We can keep you on the show. We won't have to 86 you.
You don't let communists on the podcast?
Only Woody Guthrie, but he's dead.
Okay.
Today's episode is going to focus on some of the many movies that me and Ivan have watched over the course of the last couple of years. When we started hanging out, as this was actually discussed in a previous episode, when I first started hanging out, we were kind of watching good movies, or at least better movies than most of the stuff I think we watch now. But we're going to try and dive into all these movies that we've seen, because there's quite a lot of them. And I'm going to go down the line. I've actually prepared a list of these films released by year. So we're going to go from the oldest to the newest. You're going to feel free to pass on your thoughts on these movies. I think it's safe to say a lot of them might not come out with the best results. I think we're kind of in agreement on most of these not being very good, but there's going to be a few split hairs there.
Probably.
Because you can't appreciate quality.
I don't like movies. I know that this is a movie podcast, but actually, I kind of hate movies. I think they're bad. I think they make people stupid. And I think that they're for stupid people.
Including me?
Including me.
Okay, so we'll start off then with 1956, a turbulent time in American history. The movie from this year, the only movie from the 50s on this list, Stanley Kubrick.
I think Dwight D. Eisenhower was building the interstate during that time. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't read.
Okay. Let's. Stanley Kubrick. He's the guy that faked the moon landing, right?
Yeah, he also built some highways. Started the highways in the 50s. He was responsible for that, I've heard.
I'm not even sure if the highways are real. If Stanley Kubrick was involved, he's a liar. So this movie we watched, it was, what was the name of it? I forgot. It's about the horse race, right?
Yeah, The Killing, 1956. It's got Sterling Hayden, Elisha Cook Jr., kind of like a film noir movie written by Jim Thompson, the famous crime novelist who did Pop 1280, The Getaway. And he also collaborated with Kubrick on his next film, Paths of Glory, which is a totally different kind of movie, not a crime story at all. But yeah, The Killing. What did you think of The Killing?
I thought it was pretty good. I actually didn't hate that movie, strangely enough. I thought it was pretty cool. All that money went flying in the air, you remember that?
Yeah, no, that's a great, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's a pretty awesome
all those dirtbag criminals, they got caught in the end. Spoiler alert. You
didn't want Sterling Hayden to get away with that money?
He's a dirtbag criminal, dude.
No,
you can't let those people run free in society.
He was the good criminal, though.
No, there's no such thing. Even probably Robin Hood was a scumbag. He's always criminal people are like, see Robin Hood. He stole from the rich. So
The Killing, you give that one a pass. You enjoyed that one. Are you a fan of Kubrick's in general? Do you dislike any of his movies that people seem to enjoy?
I don't know. I like Kubrick. I kind of like him. He's a weirdo. I think he was probably, murdered by Hollywood. You ever heard those rumors?
What, because of all the orgy stuff and Eyes Wide Shut?
He was spilling the beans on that scumbag town,
Rob Lowe sex cult. They couldn't have the truth about the moon getting out.
No, they shouldn't.
And you said, I think you told me not long ago, that's actually one of his. Did you say you haven't seen that one yet? Eyes Wide Shut?
No, I'm saving it for a special occasion when Hollywood murders someone else to be like, it's finally time to watch this movie and see what's really going on.
Behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Next movie, we're going to go into the 60s here, and there's actually a few from the 60s. 1965, we watched this one recently, The Naked Prey. What did you think about that one?
It was a pretty good movie. I like that movie. Not a lot of talking in that movie. Pretty much, what do they say, 12 words in the whole movie?
Well, in the beginning, there's kind of a little bit of setup that explains who the character is and what's going on with the plot. But, I mean, most of the film is basically like an extended chase sequence.
And a man gets cooked to death.
That's right, just like a roasted pig. They got him all.
Well, it wasn't just a roasted pig. I mean,
They molded him up.
They made him like a terracotta warrior, and cooked him to... They put those straws in his nose, and he looked like a nose walrus.
That's
right.
right.
Disgusting.
They turned him into Clay Aiken. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
No. Yeah, no. So that movie was awesome. I saw it for the first time. Had you seen the whole movie before, or parts of it, or?
Yeah, I'd seen the whole movie.
How long ago was that when you first watched that?
I think it was, what did you say, 1967?
65 when it came out.
Well, then 2 years after it came out, then. We probably saw it in 67.
No, you did. No, you didn't.
You're right. That was a lie. I apologize for lying.
You saw it in 77.
I apologize for
instead
lying.
of Star Wars.
I probably would watch Naked Prey again before I watched Star Wars. Star Wars is a sad story now. It's like you found out a bunch of secrets about your uncle. Oh man, my uncle was so cool. But then my uncle died, and I looked under his bed, and found out all of his dirty secrets. And that's what Star Wars is now.
Cum sock under the bed.
Well, that's just the least of it, dude.
Okay, so The Naked Prey, pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Very, very tense. Definitely not one to watch if you're sensitive about like animal violence in movies, because it is a pretty rugged depiction of Africa there.
But yeah, they blast like 13, 14 elephants, and it's like bang, bang, bang. Don't watch it if you are an elephant.
Oh yeah,
you will cry.
Trauma.
The
Tusked.
Naked Prey, it's a little. He wasn't naked though. He got like a loincloth pretty quick.
Okay, so moving on, 1966. Next one on the list, Django. Sergio Corbucci, the original Italian Western, spaghetti Western there. Obviously a big influence on Tarantino and a lot of other people. What was your opinion of that one?
If I was doing a star rating, I'd probably give it 3.5. It was Italian. That held it back a little bit. But they did have a pretty cool machine gun. So that's like a whole star by itself. Any movie with a machine gun is at least 1 star.
What about when they cut that dude's tongue out? How about that? Wait a sec. They cut that guy's ear off.
Yeah, they could have, dude.
I saw you flinch.
Maybe this movie is cooler than I remember. They don't cut anybody's tongue out. Yeah, they cut that dude's ear off. Was he dead when they cut his ear off, or was it?
He was alive.
He was still alive. And then they blasted him.
Yeah.
And they plugged him.
Smoked him out.
Yeah.
So we watched that dubbed.
Oh yeah, no subs, dude. I don't read movies. That's for nerds. I could probably read The Naked Prey because there was like 12 words in that movie, but normally no. I don't know. I think it's because I hate anime watchers.
Yeah,
and
weebs.
They're always talking about how they can't watch anime. I can't watch anime if it's not in the original language.
So moving on, a movie that you don't have to read. 1968. We watched this for my birthday a couple years ago. Planet of the Apes. Not the only Charlton Heston movie here. What'd you think of that one?
I forgot that we watched it. I like apes. I do like apes. And to see them conquer is pretty cool. Good for them. We've watched a few ape movies. Now I think about it. And I like apes.
Yeah,
they're great. They're great people.
I'm a big fan, as you know, of ape costumes. People in ape costumes. I think that's almost just as good.
I've seen some of your home movies with ape costumes, and they're disgusting.
So, Planet of the Apes,
yeah.
The rugged Charlton Heston. That word again. Rugged. Would you describe Charlton Heston as that?
No.
What would be the word to describe Charlton Heston?
Teeth. I think he has great teeth.
There's that immortal line in Planet of the Apes that everybody knows, where he's like, "Get your damn dirty monkey dick off me."
He didn't.
Do you remember that? I remember we both had a hearty chuckle about that.
I don't remember that.
I have that listed under another movie here. Okay, excuse me. So, Planet of the Apes, does it hold up? Classic.
I would say it's a classic. It's like an extended Twilight Zone. You ever seen that show, Twilight Zone?
Yes, I have, of course. Humorously, you mentioned extended Twilight Zone episodes, and the next movie, also 1968, favorite of yours, Rosemary's Baby.
Ugh. I also mentioned Hollywood scumbags already in this episode a few times. And I think Roman Polanski might take the cake. He's a disgusting...
Worse than Weinstein.
How is he still alive? How has his soul not been snatched away from his evil fucking body? Fuck that guy.
So why did you... So what was so bad about Rosemary's Baby? Aside from Polanski.
It was really boring. Really self-indulgent. It seemed like Roman Polanski... But it was his wife, pregnant at the time, and he was like making this movie about how he didn't want to be a daddy. Nothing happens. The characters are all one-dimensional, super boring, impossible to empathize with because they act like not real people.
So you didn't like Rosemary's Baby.
It was a terrible movie.
The next movie...
I don't know how that movie is considered a classic. I honestly don't. It's really bad. The characters are super fucking boring. Watch it again. You'll have wasted how many hours? It's 2.5 hours of your life down the shitter on that terrible movie.
Destroy All Planets, 1969. A.K.A. Gamera vs. Virus.
I don't know how many movies I hate more than Rosemary's Baby. Gamera, I could never hate him. He's a friend of the children. Roman Polanski is not a friend of the children. So it's it's a dichotomy there. I'll have to side with Gamera.
So all this is to say that you were a big fan of Gamera vs. Virus. Is that right?
No, it was a turd. Was that the one with, is it the clip show one? Is that the clip one?
Well, a lot of them are clip show ones, but that was the one where the two kids were tied up and had to use the friction to slide out of the ropes, which they could have done. But the kid was supposed to be a boy wonder, but he didn't realize that.
And he reversed the controls on that submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
And when you say sucked, you mean was really good, right?
No. Occasionally I slip into like what do you call that? Sarcasm?
A seizure.
But it's I don't like to use sarcasm generally, and I don't like to lie when I talk very often if I can help it.
Well, that's a lie.
No, that was the truth.
Gamera vs. Virus, a turd. Worst, would you say the worst of the ones you've seen?
Yeah, that's probably the worst Gamera movie I've seen. It's pretty bad. Unenjoyable. I would go so far as to say unenjoyable might suit that movie.
So next movie, also a turd, I think we could both agree, 1971, Billy Jack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we agree on that. That is a bad movie, you guys. I sided with those people in the ice cream shop when they dumped that, what was it, ice cream dust on that dude's head. It was like, let's go into town and cause trouble. We're gonna force ourselves upon this quiet town and make a ruckus, shake our little fannies in the face of these old people. No, I wish they would have killed Billy Jack at the end of that movie. That's the only way it would have been.
If they would have done that, there wouldn't. If they would have killed Billy Jack, there wouldn't be two other Billy Jack movies.
Exactly, dude.
Have you seen any of the other two Billy Jack movies?
No, my wiener hasn't fallen off yet. But as soon as that happens, I'll be watching the Billy Jack sequels, I think.
What was so bad about the first Billy Jack?
An easy answer would be that Billy Jack is a fake Indian, but I don't give a shit about that. It was just a bad movie with bad morals. I hated all those kids. They were a bunch of troublemakers, and Billy Jack was a giant lie. That's what I hated about that movie.
There was also the really exploitative sort of like rape subplot, little rape scene thrown in there to make you really, you gotta see these guys.
Now it's okay to kill these people. They've raped.
Yeah.
Like Roman Polanski. They've raped.
The next movie, 1971, another Gamera movie, Gamera vs. Zigra. So was this movie, you said Destroy All Planets was worse, but what were your thoughts on Gamera vs. Zigra?
Is that the fish monster?
That's the fish monster.
Well, the main enemy of that one wasn't a giant balloon. Wasn't like the starship or that other one, it was like 3 balloons right next to each other, right?
In it was like a very poorly made little room inside it.
It was like a hula hoop and some balloons, and that was supposed to be a starship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked.
With a big movie screen in there, and little else, big octopus.
The other movie, the Destroy All Planets, I don't mean to go back to that turd, but they had the little reptile people. I thought that was kind of interesting. Remember that?
Zigra, I think the highlight of Zigra is you have to sit through that whole bad movie just to get to a moment that's not even worth having sat through that, where Gamera beats him at the end and then plays his spine like a xylophone. That was pretty sick.
Cool. That movie sucked, but that was pretty cool.
So there's at least one redeeming moment there. Next movie, 1971, The Omega Man, another Charlton Heston movie.
He kills a lot of zombies in that one. That's pretty cool.
That's I think that one actually comes from Richard Matheson. He wrote that book, I Am Legend, which is like kind of, I guess, the origin of that.
I read that.
And that I would say I'm not a huge fan of the Omega Man, but it's obviously way better than that Will Smith movie.
Yeah, I got to agree. I cheer every time Charlton Heston shoots one of those dead-eyed zombies down. You know.
I can't really remember most of the end of that movie. Was he killed by them, or did he kind of like martyr
totally
himself?
Died. Yeah, Jesus in the bathtub.
Yeah. So the Omega Man, you wouldn't call that one a turd?
I might. It's a movie after all. And most movies are turds. It was okay for a movie. I mean, a stupid, dumb movie.
Well, the next dumb movie is actually a pretty good dumb movie, but it is definitely dumb. 1972, Prime Cut. Lee
Gene
Marvin.
Hackman, right?
That's right. And
Yeah, and that drunk. That notorious drunk.
Who, Sissy Spacek?
Yeah, among others. Lots of drunks in that movie. Gene Hackman, though, I think he's a teetotaler.
What was your opinion of Prime Cut?
A lot of prostitutes in that movie.
Well, yeah, the guy had like a brothel, a bordello or whatever.
Yeah, and cows. I think they were trying to say something about the meat market.
Did you like it when they killed that buddy's friend and turned him into burger meat or whatever? Sausages,
No, it was
hot
terrible,
dogs.
dude. Could you imagine your friend getting killed and turned into burger meat?
Hot dog meat. It was hot dogs.
Sausage.
Yeah, I think that's a little more acceptable.
That's terrible. Eating human meat? You go to hell, dude.
Hell is for children. So, 1972, also the same year of little Lee Van Cleef movie we watched, The Grand Duel.
I didn't know they were still letting Lee Van Cleef make movies in the 70s. I thought they cut him off at 69 when they faked the moon landing. But they did, and thankfully they did, because I like him. He's got that missing finger, or at least a nubbin for a finger. And that's cool.
Well, The Grand Duel, Lee Van Cleef, though, did this movie make any impression on you? We watched a really crappy DVD of it. It was like one of those
Pan and Scan.
It was one of those like gas station Pan and Scan DVDs.
I do like watching Pan and Scan. I don't know why. I'm really watching something dumb here. I'm getting dumber. This movie is dumb. Yeah, I like it. I like cutting through the illusion that I'm watching a movie, you know.
Is that why you hit yourself repeatedly throughout the film?
Did I do that?
A few times.
I don't remember what happens in that movie.
It was Lee Van Cleef's like a sheriff, or he was a sheriff, and he's come back into town.
Is there some kid or something that's trying to tag team with him?
Yeah, and then it turns out I think maybe he killed the kid's dad or something when he was the sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it was one of the better westerns.
We kept making fun of the guy for looking like Colonel Sanders, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he owned that franchise.
Yeah.
Boots are us. So the Grand Duel.
Talking about boots.
We'll go from 72 into 73 here. Dillinger. What'd you think about that movie?
It had the police chief from Last Action Hero. Great movie. Why don't we watch Last Action Hero together? Why are we always watching these bad movies?
Are you saying that Last Action Hero is a good movie?
Yeah.
Would you say it kicks ass?
No. But I would say that it is a pretty good movie.
So what were your thoughts on Dillinger? Little baby face Richard Dreyfuss getting slapped around in the water. Did you enjoy that?
Great mustaches in that movie.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss getting beat up. I wish they would have really hurt him. Yeah, I don't like Richard Dreyfuss. My mom met Richard Dreyfuss once. Richard Dreyfuss, though, did you hear him talking shit on Bill Murray recently?
Oh, you're talking about the What About Bob thing? He tried to kill me or something.
Yeah, he called Bill Murray a drunken Irish bully.
Yeah.
A drunken Irish bully.
Is that bad?
No. It made me like Bill Murray more.
So
Do you think he pantsed Richard Dreyfuss during the filming of What About Bob?
So John Dillinger, this movie, great mustaches, 4 out of 5.
You gave it a 4 out of 5?
I give it a 5 out of 5.
You just give it away.
Mustaches.
Giving the store away.
That's right. Also 73, The Outfit with Robert Duvall, Joe Don Baker, Karen Black.
God damn it, Robert Duvall, don't kill me. Yeah, that was all right. That was pretty good. Probably 3.5 stars, you know.
Okay. All right, so that's not bad. I think we would both agree the next movie is better than 3.5 stars. 1974, Mr. Majestyk.
Oh, man. I would give that one 3.75 stars.
What?
It's pretty good.
That's a 4, dude. Are we going out of 4? 5?
5.
That's a 5, dude.
Well, I don't think a 5-star movie has ever been made.
You told me to watch Mr. Majestyk. I had heard it was good. You said it was worth watching. I think you said if I was watching all these bad movies that I should watch Mr. Majestyk. On a rating out of 5, what would you give the believability of Charles Bronson having his own watermelon farm?
That's a 5-star in believability. I bet he actually probably does farm watermelons.
Well, what did you think about that scene where those guys just shot up that garage full of watermelons?
That was a tragedy.
It was heartbreaking.
It was.
I need to get these melons in. My melons are rotting in the field.
How about that part where he jumps through that window while firing a shotgun?
Totally sick.
Believability out of 5.
No, he really shot that dude. 5. Believability. He killed that guy. 3.75 stars.
His death? So 1974, I think we'd both agree Mr. Majestyk was a good one. Another movie, I think we could agree, pretty good. The Street Fighter. Sonny Chiba.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid movie. Great dub. Check it out.
Do you think that it was necessary for the first 3 films in that series to keep showing that flashback of his dad being killed?
I wish they would have showed it post-credits. I would watch the whole credits just to see that one more time.
Like a Marvel movie stinger.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, it's little baby Sonny Chiba crying in the rain. It's black and white. Half Chinese, half Japanese. And his father, well, they say his father was a spy. The Japanese have captured little Sonny Chiba's Chinese father, and they've tied him to a post, blindfold over his head.
They ice him right out.
And they put a squib right on this dude's fucking forehead. And they squibbed him. And it probably hurt like a bitch. And they popped that squib. And little baby Sonny Chiba cries out, "Daddy!" And it's pretty good.
One of the great moments of cinema.
3.5 stars.
3.5.
It's a great movie.
For the whole movie, not just the daddy scream.
Yeah, that's part of the movie.
So, there is some good stuff in there, like fractured skulls, some ball ripping.
Yeah.
There's some pretty heinous violence in there.
The X-ray shot, when he punches that guy's head, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. How about 1974, same year, Return of the Street Fighter, the second film in the series?
There's this scene where Sonny Chiba's a little kid. It's black and white. His father has been captured. He's a spy for the Chinese. They tie him to a post and a blindfold over his head, and they put a squib right there.
And what happens then?
Oh, they shoot him 3 times. And little baby Sonny Chiba is just watching his father being shot to death. And he cries out, "Daddy!" But nothing he could do could save him because the Japanese murdered his father. You don't even know if he's a spy or not. But it leads Sonny Chiba down this twisted, dark path where he just will do anything for money. He sells people into prostitution, murders. But he becomes the #1 man. Because, that's what his father told him.
He's always, breaking people out of prison.
Yeah, he does do that.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think it happens in each of the first 3.
I disavow the third one. Because the dub's not good,
It's not the same guy who dubs Terry in the first 2.
That's right. Second Street Fighter, Return of the Street Fighter, 3.5 stars. Great banana eating scene. Terry is
pretty good.
Sonny Chiba's down in this sewer, and somebody brings a banana, and it's the most delicious looking banana that you ever saw. He just fucking destroys it. And, they probably don't have those kind of bananas anymore. Because did you know that we eat different bananas now, a different species of banana than they did back in the 70s? The Cavendish.
So what about that part where he stabbed that guy with the gun?
Believable.
Out of 5.
3.5.
Are you just falling back on that number because you've used it a lot so far?
Have I?
Yeah.
I used a 3.75 at one point.
Okay. So how many stars would you give 1975 Rollerball?
Dude, that one was really boring the second time I saw it.
Surprisingly kind of boring and long. It's almost like 2 hours.
I used to like movies when I was a younger person, and I think I saw that movie when I was younger. And I was like, this is a reasonable way to spend 2 hours of the finite amount of time I have in this life. But now that I watched it again, so wasting probably a total of, 5 hours of my life on Rollerball, I regret it.
Out of 5, how would you rate James Caan's cunnilingus skills?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've heard a lot of talk. I believe it. I believe those rumors are true. But he's a disgusting looking person. I bet it 2.5 is probably his actual talent in eating vagina.
Next movie, how about 1977, The Mighty Peking Man, another ape movie?
Ooh, that's a pretty solid ape movie. The big takeaway from Peking Man, I know there's a lot of Peking Man fans watching or listening to the podcast right now. You guys remember when Peking Man was watching that dude have sex with his girlfriend?
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. My heart went out to that ape. He was like, he could never have sex with a human being.
Yeah, Utan.
Yeah, Utan's like, what was he, 70 feet tall? Maybe taller.
How about when that leopard snatched that dude's arm off? You remember that?
I do. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty sick.
Did he snatch it off? I remember somebody got attacked by a leopard. Did he bite his arm off?
Yeah, I think he like ripped it off or bit it off or something like that, yeah.
I don't remember that. I was pretty fixated on Utan. Great ape costume in that one. It's not really that good, but I believe
it's always good when someone's in an ape costume.
And when he's on that boat, you remember that?
Yeah.
They chain him up to that boat, and it's just like a dude in an ape costume riding around on a fake boat in the middle of a choppy swimming pool. That was pretty sick. So 3 stars.
3, okay.
2.5. 2.5.
Oh, what?
It's
take back
pretty
the
good.
3.
I took back the 3. 2.5, dude.
Oh, we'll take back the 2.5.
I'll do it.
Just
dude.
do it.
I will too, Peking Man.
Just do it for Utan. How about 1979 Star Crash?
Let me think. What happened in that one?
That's the one where Marjo Gortner is on the ship with
and they have that
chick.
robot with 2 pistols.
Yeah, and Joe Spinell from Maniac is like dubbed over, I think, by some Spanish guy or something.
They have some dude in like a blue face paint, and he's like a Spock with pointy ears, but he's blue or something. There's some dude, he's bald. It's like a double crosser or something like that.
I do remember there being a lot of kind of neat, like little stop motion creatures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie very much.
I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was at least enjoyable, even though it was really silly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. It was not enjoyable.
You didn't enjoy that. It wasn't on par with Robot Jocks.
I don't like Robot Jocks.
But you enjoy it.
No.
Well, do you enjoy 1979, The Crippled Masters?
No, I hated that movie. Is that the one where they fight on his monkey?
No, that's the sequel.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, that one's irredeemable then. It should be called Deformed Masters, shouldn't it?
What was so bad about that movie?
It's boring. Their kung fu is total shit. Somebody's arms, they do pretend to chop off that dude's arms at the beginning of the movie, though. Remember that?
We'll skip ahead a couple here, but how would you rate Crippled Masters, the first one?
1.5 stars.
1.5.
Total piece of shit.
How about the sequel, 2 Crippled Heroes, 1980?
I'll give that one 1.75 stars because of the monkey fighting scene.
What happens in the monkey fighting scene?
You know what happens in the monkey fighting scene. You went to...
Well, the audience doesn't.
Oh, I apologize. I forgot this was a show. This is for the fans. This crippled guy is at the grave... Oh, I didn't even tell you. There's this monkey in this movie, and he steals fish, and he steals money from people. It's a terrible, bad monkey, a misbehaving monkey, and it like pees on crippled people, right? You remember this?
Yeah.
Like the dude that's got no legs. This monkey is constantly peeing on him.
Yeah.
Won't let him sleep. He'll pee on him while he's trying to sleep.
He's wily.
But this monkey is harassing this guy all movie long. And then there's this evil general comes by. I'm not sure why he comes by. I think he's trying to steal eggplants. Aren't they working on like an eggplant farm or something like that?
Yeah, something like, I think they're like volunteering in this little community, little village or something, yeah.
And so this evil monkey, and
party.
They just take this monkey to Pound Town. They just start beating this monkey's ass. And they beat him to death underneath that blanket.
That's right.
And then the crippled people come home and they're like, oh man, they killed our monkey. And secretly the dude with no legs is like, thank God, this monkey's not going to be peeing on me anymore. But the dude with no arms is like, oh, they killed my favorite monkey.
Yeah, so he buries his monkey.
Buries him. And they don't explicitly say this in the movie that it's a monkey graveyard. But once you bury one monkey there, it kind of becomes a monkey graveyard. So he's at this gravesite of his monkey, and the general comes up and he's like, what's that you're doing over there? And he says, I'm crying, dude, about my monkey. And the general says, did you just call me a monkey?
That's right.
It's like, no, dude, I had a monkey. Your fucking dudes beat him to death underneath a blanket. And then they fight right there. And he's like, don't fight on my monkey's grave. Pretty great line.
Yeah.
Don't fight on my monkey's grave. Don't you fucking dare. Another monkey movie, though, I will say that.
Best scene in the movie. We'll go into another, both Charles Bronson and Lee Marvin movie. 1981, Death Hunt. That's, yeah. It had a bunch of,
pretty forgettable title.
Yeah, they were out there on like the...
Are they hunting Charles Bronson?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of like character actors in that movie.
And doesn't Charles Bronson have like a bear trapping friend that double crosses him, tries to steal his teeth? I don't think Charles Bronson's teeth are worth shit. He's no Charlton Heston.
That movie, not one of Bronson's better. Not one of his more memorable movies. Even though it has a decent cast.
I'll have to watch it again. See if they get him.
Oh, God. Let's not do that. We'll just watch Mr. Majestyk again. Just watch that watermelon scene on loop.
Dude, don't say that hateful shit.
Don't bite on my watermelon's grave. Alright, so 1981, here's a good one. Starring Wang Wang for your height only.
I hated that movie.
Did you think that Wang Wang was a convincing spy?
No.
How about his kung fu?
It was shit. They polished it up with some movie magic. But it was, his kung fu was shit. He's a little guy. He's a little bit taller than Tom Cruise, but shitty kung fu.
How about 1990? The Bronx Warriors from 1982. Do you remember that movie?
I think I just walked in while you were watching that with Yoan and made fun of you guys and made fun of the movie a little bit. I didn't watch that one.
You definitely watched that one because I remember there was one scene we were all cracking up about. We had to rewind where this dude crashed his bike. Do you remember that? The guy was like revving up his bike and he suddenly skips out and goes like, just like hits the ground. Bad movie. That's the best part of the movie.
That sucks.
So how about 1982 Ninja Wars?
They threw up on that dude's face
A lot. Several scenes of that.
Oh, and they cut that chick's head off.
And it was still like kind of moving around, I think. Or didn't they swap her head with someone else's head?
Yeah, like you do with old broken action figures.
One of the more memorable things about that movie would be, I think, the bad guys laugh. How does that go?
I'm not an expert, but I've only seen the movie once or twice. But I think it goes something along the lines of, let me try that again. Is that
a lot more than that, though?
Is it like that?
Several of those. And Sonny Chiba's in that one for 5 minutes, basically.
They trick you into watching that movie, thinking Sonny Chiba's going to be there, thinking the same guy that's going to do that sick dub, from Street Fighter is going to do the dub for him, but
no dice.
Yeah.
How about 1982, Silent Rage, Chuck Norris?
Ooh, that one was a piece of crap.
Yeah, that was a real turd.
Yeah. Does somebody get lit on fire in that movie?
Yeah. It has a couple actors who should know better, but are in there for a paycheck, probably. My main takeaway from that movie is that scene, I'm sure you remember, where it's like a montage of Chuck Norris and his girlfriend, and they're like violently swinging together in this hammock.
And they're going on like hella picnics.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie sucked. I'm going to go with 1 star on that. And also, I want to go on record here on the podcast, if you don't mind. I don't think Chuck Norris is all that tough.
No.
He could probably beat the shit out of Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee was a flim-flam man. He was a karate point fighter, which is basically like a ballet dancer, except for undisciplined. Well,
what about, do you think he could beat up Christy Brinkley? He does those like Bowflex commercials with her.
Well, yeah, she's a small woman.
So we've gone through a bunch of these bad movies here, so maybe we'll go through a good one real quick. Everybody's seen this movie, but for all the people out there that are hating your hot takes, let's get your opinion on John Carpenter, The Thing, 1982.
People don't hate my hot takes.
They do.
People love my hot takes, and by people, I mean my close family members. Yeah. My grandmas are both dead, actually, so that's kind of a sore spot.
Yeah,
they hated me.
Yeah, reasonably. The Thing. John Carpenter. What do you think about that one?
That's a movie. I like John Carpenter. He makes good movies. The Thing is good. I think everybody knows that. I've never heard a hot take on The Thing.
Because you'd be a fool if you said such. I think Reagan watched that one at the White House.
Did he?
I think so.
Are you bullshitting me?
Maybe. So, if The Thing is a good movie, would you call 1983 Hysterical a good movie?
No, we just watched that one pretty recently. I'm still pretty mad.
No one forced you to watch that. You chose it yourself.
You're right. The onus is on me. -1 stars. Really bad.
Worse than Rosemary's Baby?
Not hysterical. The Hudson Brothers. I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently they were a musical act.
Yeah, dude, they're famous. Because everybody loves them but you.
You didn't know who the Hudson Brothers were, did you?
Obviously I did. I've found the movie.
I think we've said everything that needs to be said about Hysterical. Terrible movie.
Well, what was so bad about it, dude?
I can't say, dude. They would deplatform you.
The Hudson Brothers? What about... Okay, so if Hysterical's a bad movie, what about 1984 Ninja 3, The Domination?
Is that the one where that ninja kills a bunch of people on a golf course?
Yeah, at the beginning.
It really frustrated me, and I was like, they shot this ninja so many times. Why isn't he dead?
Because he was a zombie, dude.
Was he?
It was a spirit. Yeah, you don't remember that? It was there was like the spirit of this samurai or something that was like inhabiting people's bodies.
And was it living in the sword? or something like that.
Yeah, I think I think it might have existed outside the sword, but it possessed the sword. Because when the chick had the sword, it got a hold of her, and the sword was floating around and stuff. Because if you'll remember, all this shit's just flying around her apartment, and she's like, decides to just go work out for no reason.
Well, you don't work out for no reason. You work out to stay in shape.
When you're being attacked by a flying sword?
Yeah, I had this friend, whatever problems he was going through in life, his dad would always be like, go for a walk, drink a glass of water. Yeah. You know, you'd be surprised what that would help.
Stop beating around the bush. What were your thoughts about Ninja 3?
I don't respect ninjas very much. I think this movie was a false portrayal of ninjas. I felt taken a little bit that they were lying to me about ninjas. Two stars.
2 stars. 2 stars for Ninja 3.
Yeah.
That's an action classic, dude. Sho Kosugi.
I know Sho Kosugi is famous for some reason. I never bought it. I never understood.
What about Pray for Death, 1985?
That was another ninja movie, right? A Sho Kosugi movie?
I think he iced out his own brother.
Yeah, he's like a red ninja. Isn't his brother like a red ninja?
I don't know.
Is that
like a communist?
Is that the movie where like it starts off with this ninja battle and then they zoom out and it's just a TV show and Sho Kosugi's kids are watching it?
I do not remember that.
Did you not watch the movie?
I huffed a lot of glue beforehand.
You were on Kratom.
Yeah. From the donut store.
$10, folks.
Yeah, stop on in. How about Shock Chamber, 1985?
Terrible movie. It was an anthology movie where all the stories were bad. That doesn't happen often. You have to really work at it to make all of your stories bad and unenjoyable.
Would you say that movie was better than the next film, 1985, Stand Alone, with Charles Durning?
Was that Charles Durning's the old man?
Pappy O'Daniels.
Yeah, he's Pappy O'Daniels' Flower Hour. This is an action classic, folks.
Is it?
No.
Is it?
No, that's a lie.
Don't lie to the people.
I need to stop lying. I apologize.
You said you weren't a liar, and now you just keep lying. Charles Durning is great. That's not a lie. But this movie is not very good.
Yeah.
He's kind of like he just kind of gets intimidated a lot by these punk gang members. They just kind of push him around, and then eventually he's like, "Damn it, I've got no other choice but to stand alone."
Oh, and his friend runs a donut shop
where they sell kratom.
I don't think they sell kratom, but there's they come in like with shotguns. These hoodlums come in there with shotguns, and if you watch closely, you can notice that what was it, Charles Durnin? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Pappy O'Daniel, he pisses his pants.
Oh yeah, TT.
He TTs in his pants, and they didn't cut it out of the movie.
No, and that was real
that's
TT.
Worth watching. Yeah,
he was
it's
really
not a squib,
committed,
folks. It's real piss.
It's a pea squib. So, how about 1986 Armed Response with fucking David Carradine?
Part of me thinks David Carradine was murdered
by the same guy that did by Roman Polanski. Was
no. That's ridiculous.
But wait a sec. Wait a sec. What does this have to do with the movie?
Hold on, dude.
How was the movie?
Hold on, I'm getting around to it. And also that stupid guy from that crappy band. Anyway, this movie, David Carradine, R.I.P. Does he fight some Chinatown gangsters or something like that?
Yeah, it's like I think. Pretty sure it's like his brother's a cop or something, and he gets involved with this gang and gets killed by the gang, and then he has to team up with someone else, and there's like Yakuza. And the best thing about the movie that I remember is Dick Miller in a small role as a gun salesman, I think. And he's got like this really bright red like plush suit on in the middle of the desert.
Oh, he gets smoked.
Yeah, he gets smoked. I think he gets blown up with a rocket launcher in a car or something.
That's classic Dick Miller.
So, what about Michael Berryman? Hills Have Eyes. That guy, he's in there. Do you remember that?
Oh, he was hard to kill in that movie.
Yeah.
They kept trying to kill him, but it was like, your kung fu doesn't know how to work here, sir.
How about 1987, Blood Harvest, Tiny Tim?
I was thinking of that Motel Massacre movie that we watched. Do you remember that piece of shit?
It's classic.
No, it sucked. Tiny Tim is a little creep. He's surprisingly not very scary. He's a bigger man than I thought he would be.
He's scary.
In this movie, Blood Harvest, he pretends to be some John Wayne Gacy style clown. And
that's not true. He was a good clown.
Well, they didn't know that unless you spoil it. The goddamn movie. I was trying to set these people up for a thriller, dude.
Well, they've already seen it.
Oh, all these people.
Everyone's seen Blood Harvest.
All these people have seen it. Well, then they know
it's
a
has
piece of shit, dude.
Great
and
soundtrack.
You shouldn't have tricked me into watching that movie. It sucked.
I didn't trick you into it.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, we watched that. Joe Bob. What's his name?
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah. That guy's all right. But you had also bought a bootleg copy that you were going to force me to watch.
Not what? No, that's not true.
Yes,
I was never going to force.
You ordered a bootleg copy of that piece of shit, and you're like, Ivan, we got to watch this.
No, I didn't. That never.
And then we happened to catch it earlier. To our great misfortune.
And it was even better the earlier, because if we would have waited and saw it, there would have been too much hype.
It would have been bootleg. Probably would have been a pan and scan.
I thought you said you liked pan and scan movies, dude. Just not with Tiny Tim.
Yeah, my story's falling apart. I was lying again.
Another lie. Well, one thing you can't lie about is the quality of the next movie, 1987, Penitentiary III, a masterpiece, I would say.
3 stars. Pretty solid. Too Sweet? I don't know. I think he was in prison and his name's Too Sweet. So I'm not sure if your listeners are familiar with prison lingo.
That means that he is really hard on the inside.
It means he gives up the sugar.
Like to his neighbor?
Yeah, when you no offense to anybody whose nickname is Sugar. I know there's been some boxers and stuff who go by that name, but generally if you're known as Sugar in the penitentiary, it means you give it up.
Yeah.
And by it I mean your bunghole.
Yeah. What is that?
Your cornhole.
It's the poop chute.
Yeah. There's a lot of attempted prison rape on Too Sweet, but it's just too sweet for him. I think that's where he gets the name. And he battles through, and he battles his way out of it.
How about his
empowering movie?
He starts off with a nemesis that becomes a friend of his, if you'll remember, a dwarf by the name of the Midnight Thud.
Do you know why they call him that?
Because of his big old donger.
Well, the Thud, I think, is him taking other prisoners to Pound Town. I think that's one of those clever things they do in movies, you know.
Do you remember the mantra that the Midnight Thud taught Too Sweet?
Oak tree.
That's right. And
he also killed oranges. He ate oranges. You remember that?
Well, he also bit guys on the wee-wee.
He did, but he really knew how to eat an orange.
Yeah.
He would go after it like a Jimmy Kahn in a, big red beaver.
Orange eating believability out of 5.
3.5. Pretty solid.
Predictable rating. How about, do you remember this one? 1987, Steele Justice.
Let me think.
It was a turd.
It was.
I'm not
surprised.
There was a scene at the beginning where the guy was in Vietnam and there was an explosive strapped to a rat.
Oh, yeah, and he had like a Vietnamese,
he has like a friend who owns like a gas station or something.
And they killed that dude's whole family.
Iced him. Yeah, iced him
except
right
for
out.
his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he also had a pet snake, right?
Yeah, he brought it everywhere. Yeah.
He would terrorize his girlfriend with a pet snake, like Jake the Snake Roberts. You remember him?
Like Eric Roberts.
He should have done more movies. Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm going to check out his IMDb after this podcast.
Do you think that Steele Justice would have been a better movie if it starred Jake the Snake?
Undoubtedly. Jake the Snake was actually a pretty good actor. If you check out his promos, they're all on point. This bonehead, this corn-fed mump that they got to play John Steele, he sucked. Couldn't act his way out of a
steel bag.
Well, that'd be pretty hard to do. Steel. I was going to say like a box of saltines. I don't know why I was going to say that, but that's what I was going to say.
It's because of all this kratom we've been smoking.
I think you eat kratom.
Yeah.
Well, at least I do.
I
put it in a donut.
I take it anally.
It's gross, dude.
How about Above the Law, 1988, Steven Seagal?
Is that the one where they smoke the crack and stuff, or?
That's in a couple of them.
Is that Gino Felino?
But there is crack smoking in a couple
of
those.
Right?
No, fuck no.
No, Above the Law.
Above the Law is one of the whack ones.
Is Above the Law where they murder his partner?
Yeah, and then he runs
and
like...
the dude from Demon Knight is running for office, and he's like, "You can take that to the bank."
That's Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill is good.
Bitch.
Above the Law is like probably the most forgettable of those early Seagal action vehicles. It's like almost...
Is it the one that it tries to take itself a little too seriously?
Yeah, and like I don't think his wife dies in that one.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I think that one, I'm not sure.
Pam Grier. Pam Grier was in that one.
Yeah.
She was like his cop buddy.
And at the end, there's a dude has a trash bag full of dogs or something. Is that movie?
A trash bag?
Yeah, this dude is like abusing these dogs. He's got them in a trash bag, and then Steven Seagal beats him up at the end.
That's Out for Justice, dude.
Get the fuck out of here. It is not, is it?
Well, Out for Justice has the one where the guy, I think, throws the dog out his car window at the beginning, and then it pees on the guy at the end.
That's definitely.
It's a recurring theme in a lot of these
I don't know how all these Steven Seagal movies just blend together in my mind. I think Above the Law. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this, but I think Steven Seagal said something like, "I'm already known as a movie star and as a sex symbol, and now I want to be known as a serious actor."
Yeah.
And he is now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, he wants the punani.
He does. And I bet he tricks a lot of people into having sex with him. Seems like something he would do.
I heard a story about how he was trying to do the casting couch thing with this chick, but he had a gun on him. She was like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Steven Seagal always uses the same gun. Did you know that?
Yeah.
In all of his movies.
The one that shot his wife.
Probably. He probably was trying to get his wife out of the way so he could bang the, what do you call that, housekeeper. I know he had a kid with his housekeeper and
sort of like Schwarzenegger.
Named one of his kids after the housekeeper or something like that.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
And a great martial artist.
His kung fu is pretty serious.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're right. Aikido is as flim flam as Bruce Lee.
Talk about
Total
Gene LaBelle,
bullshit.
dude. What happened with Gene LaBelle, dude?
Gene LaBelle, you guys know him? Judo Gene LaBelle? He choked Steven Seagal out until he shit his pants.
And made him feel like John Leguizamo.
And the stain that Steven Seagal made on Judo Gene's judo mat remains on that mat to this day. It's like every time a new student comes into Judo Gene's dojo, I don't know if it's a dojo, but it's gym, he's like, "See that stain right there? That's Steven Seagal."
Yeah.
And I just imagine there's all kinds of different stains on the mat. He's like, "That's Jean-Claude Van Damme. I made him shit right there." That's not confirmed, but Steven Seagal, he did make shit his pants.
Do you think that Steven Seagal knows how to chop, kick, shut, close the door?
Is that a Parappa the Rapper joke?
No.
Okay, then he probably knows how to do all those very normal things.
So Above the Law, 1988. Pretty terrible movie. Watch out for Justice if you see any Steven Seagal movie. It's got people smoking crack, William Forsythe shooting people in the head.
I vouch for Fire Down Below as well.
Yuck.
The hand slap game.
Not even half as good as Hard to Kill, dude. With that coma beard.
There's this one, I don't remember which one it is, but you Steven Seagal buffs will remember. He's fighting these dudes in a lumber yard, which is like the nightmare scenario whenever you're fighting Steven Seagal. And he takes this piece of wood and he hits this dude over the head with it. And I watched it on TV on like TNT one time, and they hit this dude so hard in the head that TNT edited it out. It's like, no, you guys can't see this. Steven Seagal just fucked this dude up. And Steven Seagal was, notorious for hurting stuntmen on purpose.
All right, so how about 1988, Rambo III, dedicated to the gallant people of Afghanistan?
I hated the hats that they wore in that movie. I don't know if that's a traditional cultural hat.
I don't think so.
For the Afghanis, but they had ugly hats.
How about that sweet scene where he was on horseback swinging that goat around?
I didn't like it.
No?
No.
What was wrong with that?
It's disgusting. It's a dead goat.
Yeah.
Probably parasitic. And
so what do you think about the Rambo movies in general?
Well, the first one is solid 3.5 stars. They go down from there.
Yeah.
The second one's probably
super
the suckiest.
Yeah.
The third one sucks. The fourth one
also sucks.
It also sucks,
but
I actually
a ton of violence.
I prefer that one to 2 and 3.
And it's got his dad, Ron Ray
Rambo. Yeah, check the mailbox, folks. It's true. We're not lying.
That's right. Will you be seeing Rambo 5, Last Blood?
Probably, but I also said I was going to see the Godzilla movie that came out, and I didn't.
Okay.
But probably, even though Stallone is really,
over the hill.
Well, I was going to say he's really short.
No, well, that too.
He's very short. He's like a little bit taller than Tom Cruise, but
I heard that the reason Stallone kept those turtles from Rocky is because he's actually blackmailing them.
Oh, I heard he was going to eat them.
Oh, sick. Delicious. Turtle soup.
Eat them. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about turtle soup anymore.
It's delicious.
I've never had it. I never would. I love turtles.
Well, let me ask you a little question that leads into the next movie from 1989. What is the correlation between the Nazis and the Elves?
1-to-1. Nazis are elves. Elves are Nazis, apparently, according to the movie Elves, even though there's only one elf.
Yeah.
And he's really anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Well, that is kind of a... I don't know if he hates Jews, I guess. Anti-Semitic... There are a lot of people that are Semitic, you know. Did you know that?
That are Semitic?
Yeah. It's a... Semitic is like a group of languages.
Well, there are a lot of people that are symmetrical. I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, specifically, this elf hates Jews.
Yeah.
The Jewish people.
You know who doesn't hate the Jews? Dan Haggerty.
No, he loves them.
Yeah.
And why shouldn't he? Jews are great people.
What was your opinion of Elves?
Piece of shit.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
The VHS copy that you bought, was it bootleg or just a huge, did you drop it on the ground?
It was a booty. It was actually, I got that swapped out for another copy, so I have a much crisper version of Elves.
Oh, well, I'm going to enjoy not watching that. But the copy that we did watch, it would cut out to static like every 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And it probably made the movie better because the movie's a huge piece of shit.
And only one elf.
1.5 stars. And that's a half star more than the number of elves in that movie.
One out of multiple elves that don't exist in the movie.
I was not scared.
No?
Nope. I was not scared of that movie.
What about, were you scared of that weird kid who kept calling his sister a bitch? You remember that?
But his parents probably should have raised him to...
Be more appreciative of his sister.
Yeah. That's his sister, you know.
What do you think the correlation between his sister and the elves was?
She had sex with that elf, didn't
Yuck.
she? Yeah, no, but she did, though.
Is Elves a better movie than the next horror movie from 1989? Puppet Master.
I don't know how that movie made a bunch of sequels. It was not good.
Yeah.
I think we both noted that one of the actresses had a pretty poor southern drawl. Not scary. I was not scared of those puppets.
No.
I remember...
What about that old Nazi guy? Were you scared of him?
Was he the one trying to get all the puppets together?
Yeah.
No, not really. I was not scared of him. Who do you think is the scariest puppet? Drillhead? I was setting you up to say Drillhead, but you don't think it's Drillhead.
I don't really think. They don't scare me. I'm not
Which
scared
one
of
is the scariest? Dude, if there was
Dollman.
if a fucking little puppet just ran in this room while we're recording this podcast, you would shit your drawers, dude.
No way.
You would jump like a cat in a hot frying pan, dude.
No, I've been there. How about 1989 TerrorEyes, anthology movie with one of the greatest character names of all time?
Troy Floyd?
Troy Floyd.
Didn't hate that one. It also has the magic vacuum. Is there one of the stories of somebody has like a magic vacuum?
You're actually thinking of another movie on this list. That's CreepTales. That has the vacuum.
CreepTales!
TerrorEyes is the one. It does have a sort of proto-Groundhog Day story about the guy who's like kind of scuzzy. He owes some money to this guy, and he loses at the horse track on a bet. So the guy's trying to kill him, but he keeps having to relive the situation until he gets it right. And there's also a scene where, you know, the guy's in the Book of Life Club, and his name is magically etched in the book. Yeah.
Is the werewolf? Is there a werewolf one, or is that also CreepTales?
The werewolf story is also in CreepTales, yeah.
I gotta stop doing Kratom, dude.
Oh, no, it's turning your mind to mush. But TerrorEyes did have that dope story about that super feminist lawyer chick who was gonna sue that video game designer for making misogynistic games, and then he kidnaps her and puts her in a real life video game. Mm-hmm. That was pretty dope. Do you remember in the beginning of TerrorEyes when that dude when Troy tried to pour that acid on the book and it melted off his face? You remember that? That's pretty sick.
I don't remember that. That's
shame
sad.
on you.
That is sad.
Yeah, it was one of the great face melts for the ages, for sure.
Oh,
that one, I like that movie a lot. I'm surprised you don't hate it, because you're not.
I hate it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I know a movie that you really hate is the next one, 1990. Abraxas with Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, that movie is not... It's a Terminator ripoff.
Space abortion.
Jesus. I wouldn't...
You remember that?
No.
The whole movie was hinging on the fact that they were trying to make this chick get an abortion, and Jesse Ventura had to save the kid from being taken away by Sven.
Oh. Well,
Sven was trying to kill the baby. He had to help protect it as it grew up.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that because you sleep.
I I didn't know. I don't remember that. I know that Jesse Ventura was bald for the whole movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura is what they called him. But they covered up his entire body in that hideous jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sven was there. Is that his name? Sven Thorgensen or some shit like that? Arnold's
buddy.
Weightlifting buddy.
And I'm pretty sure there's a scene where he's wearing, I think, either him or Ventura's wearing like a Gold's Gym shirt at one point in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe while we were watching that movie, I remarked, and I still hold to this today, that that Swede or whatever he is, that obvious foreigner, Arnold's buddy, was acting circles around Jesse Ventura.
Oh, yeah.
In a second language, folks. That's brutal.
Yeah, Jesse is really bad in that movie.
Yeah, that's why he's relegated to being a sexual tyrannosaurus and not a leading man.
That is true. How about 1991? Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, man. I'm gonna give my second 3.75 stars today. Great movie.
Wait, more stars than the Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Dude, Ernest P. Worrell is
a hero.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty
Ernest
cool.
Scared Stupid used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. Do you remember that scene where, dude, I love this movie. We could do a whole podcast about this movie. It's really good. Do you remember that? There's so many scenes. Yeah, of course you remember the Trolls.
Eartha Kitt.
And those Trolls, I'm sure everybody listening to this podcast knows, but those Trolls were recycled costumes from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. John Cherry or Coke Sam's or one of them talked those people into giving up their costumes. It's like, let's turn these into Trolls. So, I mean, they're pretty creepy looking.
Yeah.
Miak, remember that? Bulgarian Miak?
Yeah.
He's like, M-I something K. Only M-I something K can kill the Trolls.
It's Miak.
He goes to Bulgaria and gets Miak.
Yeah. That movie is awesome.
Yeah, that movie is great.
So a movie you don't hate?
No, I don't hate that one. It's pretty good.
Are you an Ernest fan in general?
Yeah, Jim Varney used to smoke like a freight train. Really big nose on that guy, too.
R.I.P.
He faked it, dude. I'm pretty sure he's still running around.
He's hanging out with Paul Walker.
He faked his death like they faked the moon landing.
Yeah. How about another movie that I think you're a big fan of? 1991, Samurai Cop.
Oh, I hated that one. I was waiting for that one to end over and over and over again.
What about that guy's hilarious facial expressions?
I don't know. Are you remarking that he was wooden?
No, his the partner, the main character's partner, he had some hilarious faces.
I don't remember that. I remember wishing the movie was over. And stonewashed jeans. I remember that. And wishing the movie was over and over again. It was harder to get rid of that movie than it was to kill that ninja in Ninja 3.
Yeah.
You know? I hated it.
Okay, so that's a bad action movie. How about...
One star.
Also from 1991, how about Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth and Lance Henriksen?
Brian Bosworth was a notorious draft bust in the NFL for the Seattle Seahawks, but he was one hell of a movie star. Stone Cold, great movie. 3 stars. Go check it out. It's a pretty good one. Great mullet.
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen.
Angry biker.
I think he gets killed in a worse way than he did in Aliens. And in that movie, he was torn in half. And that's what Brian Bosworth did to Hendrickson. Took him out like a wide receiver. And Bosworth playing linebacker crushed him.
And then Bosworth's acting career was torn in half after this movie.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's not bad. It's pretty fun.
Great grocery store shootout. Way better than the grocery store shootout in Cobra.
You know, the guy who directed Stone Cold also made I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. That's one of the few movies I might actually watch again.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Craig R. Baxley knows his shit. We'll talk about some more action movies here. 2 from 92. Hard Boiled and Full Contact, both with Chow Yun-Fat.
Those are those Hong Kong actioners. Is it okay to call action movies actioners on this podcast? Or is that, what do they call that, hackneyed?
It's ageist.
But watching those movies is like, China really sucks, but Hong Kong is cool. That's what I took away from those movies.
Full Contact. Everybody knows about Hard Boiled, but Full Contact is a really crazy, over-the-top movie. It's got a climactic line where someone is told, why don't you go jack off in hell?
And then he shoots him, right?
And then he shoots him and makes him go jack off in hell.
You think he really did?
Make him go jack off in hell?
Oh, is that the one where... Full Contact, is that the one where they have like that really loose woman in the gang?
Yeah, that's Full Contact.
Then the
magician guy.
Yeah,
the
magician
villain
guy. And the beefcake wrestler.
Yeah.
They were stealing like diamonds or something like that.
Yeah, there's a part where they rip off a store and ice out some guards in front of the store.
I think I liked that one better than I liked Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I'm going to say 3 stars.
All right. Would you give 3 stars to the next movie, 1992? Munchie.
No. This is not Munchies. This is Munchie 1, right? I was in and out.
Jim Wynorski.
I was in and out for this one.
Little creature movie.
I could not stay
you were there for all this movie.
I could not stay on the couch for this one.
We strapped you down for this one.
No, I think I was still smoking cigarettes at that time. I was smoked.
Well, you need them when you watch Munchie.
I smoked like 15 cigarettes for this movie, and I was like, yeah, I can't. You gotta do some kratom or something. Get this movie over with.
So really, Munchie almost killed you.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost committed suicide after.
So it is good.
No, it sucked.
How about that scene where that he throws that pizza? Do you remember that?
No.
A pizza gets thrown.
It seems like something that hateful movie would do, destroy a perfectly good pizza.
Yeah, true.
I would trade that movie for a pizza.
Okay.
I would trade all the lives of all the actors and producers for a pizza.
Would you trade that movie for the next movie on the list? From 1993, Catman in Boxers Below.
That movie was made in 93?
It was released in 93.
Good God.
That's the first of a couple Godfrey Ho movies here.
Yeah.
That movie and Undefeatable, both of which we watched, were released in 1993. I would say that Undefeatable is the superior of the two, clearly.
Yeah. Catman versus Boxers Below?
In Boxers Below. He's in it.
They don't ever explain to you who Catman is.
There's really only like 4 minutes of him in the movie.
Yeah.
If that.
It's really bad. The main actor in Catman looks like a porno actor.
He probably is.
Yeah. Really bad movie, really slow. I know that the only redeemable part is when they killed that braggadocious broad who was like, remember that? They were fishing, and this broad's like,
I can steal these secrets for you.
And then she tries to steal these secrets from this fisherman, and then they just kill her.
Well, no, she had a specific line where she was bragging on the beach, and she was like, no one can kill me, I'm tough. And then, like, 2 scenes later, she got iced out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she must be fishing over there. What's she doing? She's slumped over. She must be trying to catch fish. But she's dead.
Iced her the fuck out. Yeah. How about that scene where that guy ate those worms? That was pretty sick.
Oh, yeah. Enough worms. I'll say that for this movie.
Did you know that there's other Catman movies? There's at least another one. There's another one. I think it's called like Lethal Track or Lethal Tracks.
Maybe they explain who the fuck Catman is in that movie, because they did a really piss poor job of explaining who or what Catman is, or what he does, or why we should care about him.
Well, it's the classic Godfrey Ho thing where he mixes 2 totally separate movies together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think he was like doing illegal shit on the side.
That makes sense.
How about another one, 1996, American Chinatown with Robert Z'Dar.
Oh, man, terrible movie. Is that the one where I kept cheering for the hot dog vendor guy?
Yeah.
Was he even really a hot dog vendor?
Yeah, I think so.
He wasn't selling maps to the stars or something like that?
Pretty sure he was actually a hot dog vendor. Okay. A lot of rubber baseball bats in that movie.
Yeah. And rubber kneecaps, too. Didn't somebody get their... Was it Robert Z'Dar that got kneecapped?
I think he kicked a guy's kneecap in at one point. Great movie.
Yeah. I wish Robert Z'Dar would eat a hot dog in that movie. Have you ever seen Robert Z'Dar eat anything?
Well, he can't fit anything in there because of his chin.
Yeah. They should make a movie all about Robert Z'Dar eating different stuff, like a squid or something. I would watch that.
That would be sick.
Yeah, it would, like a live squid.
How about 1997, Anaconda, Jon Voight's finest hour as an actor?
I like when he... do you know his name in that movie? The name of his character?
No. Jon Voight.
He pretends to be, from Paraguay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he says he's from Paraguay, but his accent's like all over the place. Kind of sounds like Creole at one point, and then not.
And he calls that one chick Baby Bert. You know? And they got the schnoz Owen Wilson in that one, right? And they have that monkey. It's another monkey movie, dude. They use that monkey
as bait.
Yeah, and they kill this monkey, and the snake eats the monkey, and then it just like spits the monkey out, and it hits somebody right in the face.
Oh yeah, I do remember. That was the highlight of that movie, probably.
And they have that limey idiot. He gets eaten by a snake, I think.
I remember Eric Stoltz was in there. He gets a fever and passes out.
He didn't get a fever, dude. John Voight put a hornet in his scuba tank.
Oh, is that right?
And it stung him in the throat.
Sadistic.
They had to do a tracheotomy on Eric Stoltz, and he was taken out of the movie for a long time.
Thank God.
Yeah, which should happen to Eric Stoltz in every movie he's in.
What about Pulp Fiction?
Is he the Baggy and the Twistix guy?
Yeah, he's the drug dealer, yeah. He's good in that.
They should have. Tarantino could have sprung for a couple hornets. He's a pretty rich guy now.
So would you say Anaconda is on par with the next movie, also from '97? Cyber Vengeance.
Anaconda's league's better, and that's tough to say. Because Anaconda, not a lot of fans of Anaconda, even though they did make 2 more Anaconda movies, is that right?
Well, I know there's at least one more, for sure. That was, I think, like straight to DVD in like 2005.
Anacondas, and then I think there's like Anaconda Search for the Black Scorpion or some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. But I think there's at least 3 Anaconda movies.
But Cyber Vengeance has helicopter chases and dogfights and a guy in a virtual reality machine with his nipples exposed.
They fight Nazis in that one. It's got that pockmark face guy.
There's like some go back in time shit. They travel back to the past. There's that weird there's like some footage I think from another movie of the directors in there.
And it has like a team of people. They execute you for sucking at video games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should probably bring that back.
How about 2002, Ice Grill?
The first time I ever saw Ice Grill was on VHS, and I bought it because the VHS tape was yellow.
Why? That's it?
That's it. It was at a Hollywood Video. Remember them?
Yeah,
remember
they sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had like 3 movies for $2.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
And Ice Grill was one of them. And I bought it.
You overpaid.
Yeah. And the most entertaining thing about Ice Grill is one of the characters' names, Twain Bogart. If I, ever have a son, I'm going to name him Twain.
Not Twain Bogart?
Well, Bogart's going to be his middle name. But Twain. Do you think he was named after Mark Twain, the famous American novelist?
No.
What do you think they called that character Twain for?
Like twangs of regret.
Twangs of regret?
Like hunger twangs.
That's not a thing. Do you think that they called him Twain because he was caught in the middle of 2 different worlds, trying to live a legit lifestyle and also stealing diamonds?
I think they called him Twain because they knew that everything they filmed was terrible and they needed something to be memorable about the movie.
It was a really bad movie. Check it out, folks. Solid 1 star on Ice Grill. The story of gangsters with bling bling, I believe, is the tagline of that movie.
Oh, yeah. How about CreepTales 2004, since we brought this one up before? Obviously, you've remembered a lot about this movie.
I did remember. I thought it was a different movie.
Yeah.
Let's not walk past that.
Well, a lot of those anthology movies blend together, I guess, if the stories,
Yeah. I like the wraparound on CreepTales.
The guys digging the videotape up out of their, uncle's coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they eat a pizza or order a pizza at the very least. Right?
Oh, yeah. When they go back home, there's, rats in the popcorn.
And there's a magical vacuum and a werewolf story. And what's the other story?
Well, there's, at least 5 or 6 stories in that. It's got a lot of stories. You've got those 2. Then there's also a story about this purse snatcher who gets a killer purse that eats him. Mm-hmm. And then there's also...
That was more of a vignette.
Yeah. Well, then there... Was it? Then there's Jim
so.
Jarmusch over here.
I think it's
Stand back. There's also a story about, I think the first one is this chick goes to stay with her grandma, and it turns out there's some weird, incesty past to the family, and the grandma's, trying to run her over with the car and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one has the 3 bears? Is that movie? Remember that?
3 bears.
It's like a crime family. They call them the 3 bears. It's like some quasi-punk rock bunch of bullshit. You don't remember what I'm talking about? You have no idea?
That sounds kind of vaguely familiar.
It's an anthology movie, but I don't remember which one. No, not that one, though, apparently.
Yeah. But CreepTales, I think it's a pretty underrated movie, probably one of the more enjoyable anthologies. There's a lot of anthology movies that get more attention than this. I think it's better than stuff like Dead Time Stories or a lot of those, so I enjoy it. Another film from 2004, Dead Man's Shoes, Shane Meadows, British film. What do you think about that?
That was shot in 2004?
Yeah.
It seemed a little more modern than that. I thought it was good. I thought it was alright, yeah. A little John Wicky, in a way, revenge movie.
This was before John Wick,
I know,
dude.
I know it was, dude. I didn't know that.
John Wick is a little this movie-y.
But it's one of those classic tales of revenge, you know,
That's
where
right.
revenge ends up consuming you, folks. Don't seek it. It's not for you.
Another very thought-provoking movie from 2004, Scarecrow Gone Wild, with Ken Shamrock.
That was 2004, huh?
That's
So
right.
that means
Well, it's got Gone Wild in the title. It's got to be around that era.
Ken Shamrock's wrestling career in the WWE was over by then, and his MMA career, I think he was being humiliated by the famous Tito Ortiz, getting his head lumped up like a rotten grapefruit. And he also gets his ass kicked by a scarecrow in this movie. Pretty humiliating to be Ken Shamrock. He's often billed as the world's most dangerous man.
But he got beat up by a scarecrow.
Yeah, but a fucking scarecrow took him to town.
He did. He was trying to save those kids, though, so he's a noble man.
Yeah, and they did swerve us. When he gets killed the first time, I was like,
Psych
no
out.
fucking way. There's no way they killed the world's most dangerous man.
Yeah.
But then they do kill him.
Did they? I thought he lived.
Oh, yeah, they killed him.
Oh,
No,
man.
you thought he lived because I was like, no, Ken Shamrock's going to come back again.
He lived.
But then he never did. He lived. Okay, he lived.
We'll
I'll
pretend.
pretend with you, dude.
The movie's better if he lives.
I agree.
You can't kill Ken Shamrock.
Did you know that Ken Shamrock was a foster child? Grew up on Bob Shamrock's School for Boys, and his son, his famous brother, is Frank Shamrock, former UFC light heavyweight champion. He's also a foster child. A lot of pain behind Ken Shamrock, you know?
Yeah.
That's why he used that in his acting.
Yeah, clearly. I really believed him in that line where he was like, "We have to stop this scarecrow."
Yeah. It's like, you guys shouldn't... Remember when he boozed up those kids? Like, he was quitting his job as gym teacher, and they were like, "Coach, are you going?" He's like, "Yeah, let's all drink booze."
That's right, yeah. Even though he had kind of scolded them for that earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
he was like,
it's
"Don't
like,
go out there and do anything crazy."
I'm not your teacher anymore. Let's get drunk together.
Yeah, Polanski.
Yeah.
So we'll have one last movie here that we'll talk about, and this is a movie we both saw in the theater. Pretty forgettable little movie. The final movie we're going to talk about here. Give me your thoughts on The Purge, election year.
Tripe?
Yeah.
That's the first word that comes to my mind. I would say tripe. You know, I hate to disagree with you here.
Well, but tripe is at least pretty tasty when you eat it.
It's disgusting, dude. It's beef tongue. It's gross.
Yeah. Lengua.
Wait, no, that's lengua. Tripe is the stomach, even grosser.
Gabagool.
That's head cheese. I think this is the only Purge movie that I've actually seen. It was total crap. I hated every character. I was hoping they would all get purged. It was a movie made by morons for dipshits.
And we were there.
Yeah. I like to eat popcorn, folks. That's why I go to movies. I just love grain. Yeah. Buttery grain. I eat it.
They had some really bad attempts at like political commentary in the movie.
Yeah.
And because it was just like a popcorny Hollywood horror movie, there was no real substance to it. So it was just like,
we are the rich people and we're out to get you.
Yeah.
We also pay for your food stamps.
Yeah.
And we're out to get you by paying for everything, like the roads and the infrastructure of this great country. And we're also evil somehow, even though everything that you take for granted, we pay for. We're rich and evil.
And they tried to do like a Scorsese moment, or like a sort of like a Kubrickian sort of thing, where you like you use the, you know, like the harmonious, happy, upbeat music for ironic purposes, like the fucking that killer going around while fucking Miley Cyrus is playing.
Yuck! Yeah, that's dumb.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, really bad movie. And if you like that movie, no, don't chop it off, but Someone should hang you upside down.
And beat you.
Put a football helmet on your head, and then hit you in the head with a baseball bat a couple times.
Maybe without the helmet.
No, the helmet, so you can't tell exactly what bludgeon has hit them. Then you take the helmet off, untie them, and then they walk around in a daze for the rest of their life.
It's kind of similar to how the movie operates, actually.
Yeah.
Just hangs you upside down and hits you in the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible. That movie needed some more Ethan Hawke.
Was he in that one?
He's in, I think, the first two. Maybe just the first movie in that series.
Well, I told you I didn't see those, dude. Now I'm gonna have to.
I haven't seen him either, dude.
I'm a big Ethan Hawke fan. Great actor. Yeah.
Okay. That's a fair enough assessment. So, movies out of 5.
2.5.
Oof. That's charitable.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
charitable.
feeling giving. I drank a couple beers, so.
And you're thinking about
I'm
seeing
a happy
those.
drunk.
You're thinking about seeing those other Catman movies now.
No. The next movie I watch,
It's gonna be hysterical again.
I would probably, if I didn't value my own life, I would rather commit suicide than watch that movie again.
You value your life?
I do. I do a lot of great things, like eat grain and mayonnaise.
Worth it. With that being said, I guess we're going to move now into the end of the episode. We've gone through quite a few movies here. Moved from the 50s into the current decade. We're almost at the end of the decade now. So we'll see what's coming with movies for the next decade. I think this one has had its peaks and lows. I've kind of tuned out with a lot of modern movies, but we've definitely gone through all kinds of stuff here, all kinds of genres. And I think that hopefully anybody who listens to this show, if you violently disagree with us about any of these movies, I would love to hear you say why. If there's any like hardcore fans of Munchie out there, I would be shocked to discover that. So reach out, and I promise we won't point and laugh at you. But for now, that's going to be the conclusion to the 7th episode of the Video Psychosis podcast. I'm your host, Strong Knotz.
I'm not. I'm Ivan.
And that was not me. That was Ivan. And we're saying goodbye.